see the way they hate. And I know better than to listen to the people who are calling us slaves. I can feel the sunlight shining.
Well, good morning, everyone. My name's Brian, and today is Friday, June 28th, 2024, and this is episode 730 of the Lots Project podcast, and it's titled My Little Pony. I'll be chatting about having to be the bad guy, a country legend lost, Kennedy versus Lincoln, and a little bit more. First, let's check out in the live chat. See who's hanging out in the coffee crew. Grab a cup and hang out for an hour. Good morning, good morning, good morning. How is everybody doing today? It's Friday, finally Friday. Pip just dropped a video in the Telegram chat of taking out some trash, I guess it'd be one way to put it, but made me chuckle a little bit this morning. Made me chuckle just a little bit this morning. Pip in early before the show here, and Friday. Pickle Pete, good morning. Hi ho to you. Hunter in over on Twitch already. Pickle Pete must got Harbor Freight ad this morning. Got the vertical feed up and rolling. We got Nostr up and going. If you're interested in viewing on Nostr, there's a couple ways to do it. One way is to go to zap.stream/mynpub. I just dropped the link in the video description, or in the comments on all the platforms: Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and that's where it goes out automatically. I'll also have it in the show notes starting on Monday. I didn't get it in last night, but I'm pretty sure we're gonna do a little push in July over on Nostr. I did some digging over the last couple days, figured some stuff out. I had just been kind of throwing it over there because I could. Because I figured out how to do it. I kind of looked into it a little bit more over the last few days, and I think it's going to get better. And might push it a little bit in July, see how that goes. Kind of trying to push for using Nostr more, and maybe soon dip out of a lot of other socials. So we'll see. We'll see. Tim and I had at a conference yesterday. Tim Cook and I had a conference, or a meeting, I guess. And that's one of the things we discussed. And it might be time. It might be time to move on from some of the platforms that give us headaches every day and go to some that make us happy more. So that is an option. Everything running over there. Mike's Homestead got pole barn starting to go up this morning. That's exciting. Good morning to you. Good morning, Rewilder Life. How you doing? Pip says the chair video in the Telegram chat. Think of it as musical chair forklift edition. I mean, I can't say that I haven't destroyed some stuff with a forklift on purpose and definitely on accident. So, you run equipment and shit happens sometimes. What's in the cup today? Friday morning. Thank God I stayed up a little too late last night and am pretty exhausted this morning. Did a fair bit of work yesterday, even though I got started late, and then stayed up a little too late. So I'm glad I got some GSD blend in the cup, because today I got a bunch of more shit to do. Always a bunch of shit to do. So having some GSD in the cup in the morning is a great way to start. Highly caffeinated, but doesn't give you the jitters. Nice light roast, gives you a nice bright flavor, wakes you up, pops the eyes open, and gets you rolling without too much caffeine. It's the perfect blend. It's the perfect go-getter blend for your get shit done days, weekend days, work days, whatever. Pick up some GSD blend, head on over to Food Forest Farms, foodforestfarms.com. Use coupon code LOTS10, LOTS10, to grab 10% off your first time. One-time use coupon. Already low prices over there at foodforestfarms.com, and always free shipping. But grab yourself 10% off to give it a try. If you've used that up and you want to order again and you still want a little bit of a discount, you think those low prices are just a little too high, which everybody has a problem with prices. Everybody has a problem with prices. Grab Lots 5, LOTS 5. That's a forever coupon, 5% off everything at foodforestfarms.com. And like I said, always free shipping. Give Brian a try over at foodforestfarms.com. You won't be disappointed. That shit is good. That's good. That's good stuff. I've been drinking that I mentioned it yesterday. That's it is the first blend that Brian came up with for me from my description. And really just nailed it in the first. He sent 3 sample bags from a verbal description. He put that verbal description into his brain, and out came a coffee roasted from his air roaster, and damn, he nailed it. He just nailed it. So he's good. He's good at what he does. So give it a try. Give it a try today. Yesterday was interesting, guys. I'll tell you. I'm going to tell you about a little happening on our dog walk yesterday morning. The most significant thing I will share here in a bit, but we've been talking about the Chihuahua people now for a few weeks. Well, we've been dealing with them for a few weeks. I think I've only talked to you guys about it for the last couple of days. But we're I guess flabbergasted would be a great word. Good morning, Digger. First morning free. Don't got to run around, get in the car, and get off to work. How's that feeling for you today? You just get to sit and do what the fuck you want to do. Well, maybe you got some stuff that you got to take care of, but man, don't got to go punch that clock. So congratulations to that. So I think flabbergasted would be a good term to pull out of the vocabulary today. For a year, hey Roy, how's it going? Thanks for stopping. Hit that sub, hit the like over there on the vertical feed. Appreciate it. We for a year we walked this road with the dogs. It's not ideal. We hate it. We really, I say it's not ideal. We absolutely fucking hate it. It's a horrible place to walk the dogs. We acclimated to the cars speeding by at 45 to 50 miles an hour. We've really figured out how to navigate that. The majority of the people go by regularly or semi-regularly. They wave. It's okay. We made that work. We ran into a big issue with Trailer Dog, the dog we've dubbed Trailer Dog. Trailer Dog would come out. That was the mangy, old, decrepit, half-deaf dog that would charge out of the yard and out into the street, and the mom would continue to scream, I'm sorry, as she's coming out, and then beating the shit out of her dog because her dog came at us and she didn't have it tied up. They finally tied the dog up. We don't care if we walk by and the dog barks at us, as long as it's tied up, as long as it's not running out into the street. Corey is deathly afraid that the dog is going to get hit by a car and have to witness that. So it's part that. It's part the dog is charging our dogs and get them wound up. I don't care if your dog barks. I really don't. I just don't want it charging at me in the street. I think that's a reasonable thing. And we went through the cycle with Trailer Dog, and hey, she would say she's sorry. I'm sorry. You're not sorry if it keeps happening. You're not doing anything about it. You're not sorry. So finally, they put up a line. They tie the dog up, and for months now, no issues. Every once in a while, the dog will bark because he sees us, and big deal. I don't give a shit, like I said. But they did something about it. And one time, they were taking the dog off and taking it off the lead and taking it inside, and the dog got loose, and it came after us, and it was no big deal. I didn't get mad. I didn't get upset. It happens. I understand this. I'm not unreasonable. But for some reason, like a month or two ago, these fucking chihuahuas at this other house started it being an issue. Everything from every day we go by, they're in the front yard somehow with their owner, and the owner starts screaming. So this wasn't a problem. And if you remember back, I did an episode with the title Sophie that was the first time that we really interacted with them, when we walked by and she screams at the dogs like the dogs are going to chase us down the road. Maybe they would have. Little did we know. So yesterday, it went on and on and on. Corey took a ride from the dogs charging our dogs and them not being able to control them. And for some reason now, this is happening every day. And I mentioned on the show the other day, I kind of lost my shit like 3 days ago, when we were walking and the girl opens the door. Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't look the wrong way. And this is like the 5th fucking day in a row this shit's happened. And I'm like, you're not sorry. You're not doing anything about it. And we joked about the Daily Stoic and how it wasn't working for me in that moment. Yesterday again, we're walking by out the front door. We're like literally right in front of the front door, and opens the door, and the dogs come screaming out, barking at us. I'm sorry, I didn't see you out there. Fuck you. No, seriously, fuck you. But guess what? I was the calm one. I chuckled in the back of my head. I slowly walked forward. Corey started losing her shit. And all I did was kind of smirk and keep walking. And it wasn't bothering me yesterday. It wasn't bothering me yesterday. And so we went on. Hunter said, Hunter says, let my guys loose. No, absolutely not. My guys will end up being put down, because their dogs will be the aggressor, and an accident will happen with my 180-pound dog's going to swat one of those little fuckers with his paw, and it's going to break it. And then it's going to be my dog's fault. Corey and I had a better idea. We're going to start carrying bear spray, and as soon as those little fucking rat shits hit the side of the curb, we're going to blast them right in the fucking face with the bear spray. See how much they charge the road after that, those little fuckers. Chihuahuas are akin to short man syndrome in humans. They are the most psychotic little fucking dogs I've ever met. I've never met one that I liked. I never met one that wouldn't bite you in a second. So we'll see what happens. But somehow, after a year, we have to deal with this every day. Every day. Whatever. I mean, we don't own the road. I get that. But you'd think at some point some people would be a little conscious of their surroundings, maybe a little considerate of the people just trying to take their dogs for a walk down the road. Hunter says, take a flat shovel. It's coming right for us. Toing! Yeah. Corey suggested the pepper spray, bear spray route, and I said, well, that's a lot more humane than the steel toe I was planning on using. Yeah, it is what it is. It is what it is. But yesterday, you guys would have been proud of me. I channeled my inner Marcus Aurelius and just powered forward with a smirk on my face and not letting the world bother me. But we did have a very significant event on the dog walk yesterday that did bother me quite a bit. I'm still a little shaken up about it. So, sorry, I got dog hair on my tongue. Maybe I shouldn't be that shaken up about it. So anyway, On the walk yesterday, on the way, so we do an out and back every day. We go out, turn around, walk straight back. On the walk, Hunter says spray the dog, spray in the dog for make sure the dogs are upwind. You think they drool now? Yeah, it would be an interesting experiment. We would definitely make sure our dogs wouldn't get it. I've experienced the police pepper spray 24 hours later in a bar one night. I was playing pool, and all of a sudden my eyes were burning, my nose was burning, I was coughing. I had that pepper spray. I don't know if any of you have ever been pepper sprayed, but I had that tingle in the back of my throat, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? It was just like a Monday to Sunday night in a bar playing pool. There was barely anybody in there. I go up to get a beer, and I'm like, my eyes are all red. And like, he's like, what's wrong with you? I said, I don't know. My eyes are all burning and this and that. And he goes, oh shit. They had a fight in the bar the night before, like a brawl, and the cops showed up and cleared the room with pepper spray, and the powder was all over the pool table and the pool balls and the pool sticks and everything, and nobody had cleaned anything up. And so the powder was on my fingers, and I was like touching my face, smoking cigarettes, whatever. And yeah, talk about after the fact incidental exposure. K-Bonk says, good morning, K-Bonk. How are you doing? So anyway, we started our walk yesterday, and we get probably maybe not even a quarter of the way into it, and we see something in the road, and we routinely see roadkill. We routinely see shit that's flown off people's cars, trailers. There's garbage everywhere. Sounds like a delightful place to walk, huh? But anyway, we're walking along. We see something in the road, kind of keeping an eye on it because the dogs get really interested in new shit. They want to explore it and find out what it is, sniff it, and go about their business. So we're coming up to it, and it's a My Little Pony. It's a purple little My Little Pony, not one of the full size ones. So I grew up. My sister was into My Little Pony when I was a kid. I remember these things. The full size ones were like, I don't know, about as yay big, 4 or 5 inches. They had the big long purple hair and the long tail. And if Kyle was here, he could just show us a picture of his back to demonstrate the tail. But this was one of the, I don't want to say miniature, like McDonald's size toy, but in between the full size and the mini McDonald's toy size. There was a medium My Little Pony. And we're walking up to it, and we're like, what the hell is that? And it's just like, oh my God, it's a My Little Pony. And the dogs were both right to it. Sniff, 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 sniff. Sniff, sniff, sniff. And we're like, pull the dogs away. They would have stayed there and sniff it forever. We leave it in the middle of the road. We go about our business. We keep on going down the walk. And we get down. We deal with the fucking Chihuahua house. We go past. We turn around. No problem coming back by the Chihuahua house. But she barely let us get past her yard. And she opens the door and immediately starts screaming at the dogs not to chase us. Like, twice in one walk? Really? Twice in one walk? We walk the same walk every day. Like you had to wait like 4 minutes or whatever, beyond it. And so we're coming back up to the My Little Pony, and the dogs want to sniff it again. So Clyde walks over and takes a sniff, and Norman walks over. And Norman gets really obsessive when he sniffs stuff. Like, literally, when he's sniffing the ground, he is pushing his nose into the ground, like grunting, digging dirt up a little bit. He ends up with dirt on his nose. So he's like really pushing his nose against this My Little Pony. He thinks it smells wonderful. And I'm watching him, and I'm giving him a little extra couple minutes to sniff it. And all of a sudden, he sucks it into his mouth, and the head is like hanging out of his mouth and the hair. And I look and I'm like, wait, no, you can't take that. Get that out of your mouth. And I go to grab it, and he sucked it into his mouth. Like, the dog hides shit under his jowls. He's got these big ass curtains that hang down on his side. He'll hide a whole, like, one of those oversized tennis balls. He'll put it in his mouth, and you can't see it because of his jowls. His mouth will be open like this big, and his jowls hang down, and you can't even tell there's something in his mouth. So he sucks it into his mouth, and just the hair is sticking out of the front of his mouth. And I'm like, no, you can't. No. He thought it was like his new toy or something. So I reach my hand into that slobbery ass mouth, and I pull the thing out. And Clyde gets excited. Norman gets excited. They think I'm going to throw it or play with it or anything. I throw it behind my back because I was like, I'm not taking this thing home. Like, you can't have this. And the dog looks at me. Norman looks at me. Clyde looks at me. He settles down right away. Norman looks at me like he's got the biggest heartbreak ever. And I'm like, dude, you can't just pick up random shit on the road and take it home with you. And he literally gave me the cold shoulder. He takes off. He moves over onto the other side of Corey. Corey takes his lead. He walks with her. We turn around. We keep going. And I'm like, wait, what the hell? He doesn't like me anymore? Like, Norman is my boy. Like, when dogs pick their human, Norman picked me. I come home, the dog sings and screams and howls and brings me toys. Not even close to the same reaction when Corey comes home. This dog he picked me. So he just like gives me the cold shoulder and walks away and goes on the other side of Corey and walk. And so we keep walking. We get to the point where we're crossing the street to go back to our place. And we cross the street, and I'm standing next to him. And he looks up at me, and he walks on the other side of Corey. Like, he was pissed that I took his toy and threw it away. Like, pissed at me. We go inside. He wouldn't come anywhere near me. He'd just look at me and walk away. No interaction whatsoever. Hunter says, I picture Corey looking at you with a knowing expression. Can't take a random home off the street. Yeah. But he was devastated. It took till later afternoon. I went to Tim's and did some work. I did some work on our plot, cut a bunch of trees down, four more, until my saw chain was just, I needed to get it sharpened. Thanks, Jamie, for running it through your chain sharpener. I appreciate that. But I came home and he was back to normal. But I was heartbroken. I was like, my boy doesn't love me anymore. A fucking My Little Pony. He thought it was his new toy. He thought that the dog gods had dropped a brand new toy for him right there in the street, and he was just going to hide it in his mouth and bring it home. He also does that with other random shit he finds outside. He'll like pick up pine cones and they slide into his mouth. He picks up all sorts and tries to hide them in those big old jowls of his and bring them home. So anyway, that was my experience on the walk yesterday morning. Morning. I wonder what's going on here. I wonder if this is StreamYard, if this is my internet. Anyway, it was a good. Went out to Tim's, or after that I had a meeting with Tim, and then went out to Delinquent Scully. Had a little bit of time and dropped some trees, had that sketchy tree that I wasn't sure how that was going to go, and it went perfectly. Pickle P says robot voice for a minute. Yeah. Give me 2 seconds, guys. I'm just trying to pull up this speed test. Oh, it is definitely not the Starlink. It is definitely StreamYard or my connection. Yeah, it's definitely not the it cleared up after I coughed. It's not, it's still pretty it's giving me a warning that it's unstable, but the speed looks good on the main. I don't know. I don't get it. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I wonder if my wireless wire came, my wireless adapter came unplugged again or something. Oh, it looks like it's coming back a little bit. Anyway, went out, cut those trees down, came home. It was a good day. It was hot when the sun was out. It was humid when the sun was out. Sun would go back behind the clouds and the breeze would start, and it was fine. I was saddened last night to find out that we lost a country legend. We lost a country music legend. I've been listening to this gentleman since I was a child. I have my dad introduced me to this guy. I wish I had met him. Introduced me to his music and his books and everything he had going on. He introduced me. He heard him on Imus in the Morning. If you guys know who Imus is, he was kind of the mainstay before Howard Stern kind of shook up the morning show industry, and then alongside Howard Stern and long after. Imus was a bit of a rebel in his own mind, but one of his regular guests was this country singer. My dad had heard him. I thought his music was catchy yet offensively hilarious. Let's say. Mike Homestead says, yeah, Imus got in trouble for the nappy-headed hose comments. Yes, the Rutgers female basketball team, if you don't remember that being in the news during the NCAA women's basketball tournament or some shit, he called them a bunch of nappy-headed hose and got in a little bit of trouble. Happens. This guy fit right in with Imus, but he was an accomplished singer, a songwriter, musician. He wrote mystery novels. I've read several of his mystery novels. He also ran one of the largest animal rescues in Texas. He ran for governor of Texas, I believe twice, maybe 3 times, at least once. I've owned several of his albums. I could tell you, I could sing songs of his to you. I will spare you that. But I'll share with you some of his albums and songs here in a second. Anybody know who I'm talking about? I can't imagine you do. If you do, and if you've heard of this gentleman, and if you've listened to his music, we're automatic friends forever. The gentleman's name was Kinky Friedman. He was the lead man in a band called Kinky Friedman and the Texas Jew Boys. He was fantastic. The first album that I ever got was he was already well into his career. It was his greatest hits. It was called New Testaments and Old Revelations. The leading single off that album was called They Ain't Making Jews Like Jesus Anymore. He had other top hits like get your biscuits in the oven and your buns into bed. Schwinn 24, Homo erectus, the Silver Bullet Express, Old Ben Lucas, just loads and loads of hits, several mystery novels. You should check them out. You should check them out. If you like old twangy country with a bit of spice to it, you might like it. You might like it. Kinky Friedman and the Texas Jew Boys. Check them out. Check them out. You can find them on YouTube. You can find them on Spotify. You can find them everywhere. No shit. You will enjoy it. Check it out. He, like I said, he and his wife ran one of the largest dog rescues in, I believe it's Just Dogs, possibly animal rescues in the state of Texas. Huge philanthropist. He also, like I said, ran for governor of Texas a couple times as an independent. And, you know, I don't know the guy's politics. I don't really care. I like his music. It's catchy. And he was a good mystery novel writer. So I was saddened to see that someone from my childhood, he was only 79 at this point when he died yesterday. But I was sad to see memories of someone that I listened to and shared with my friends in high school, in middle school. We were listening to this guy because my dad was like, "Hey, check this out." And he played the song, and then we went to Record Town or Tower or Sam Goody, one of the few. You know, back when they had CD stores, record stores, tape stores, whatever you were buying. And we found the guy's CD. We thought it was a joke. We thought my dad was joking until we went to the mall the next time and we were in the music shop and we found his CD and we bought it and we listened to it and we were hooked. And a few others jumped on board. And over the years, my dad's talked about him. I've talked about him. And we have a small group of people that are our fans. So I appreciate it if you check it out. It might not be your thing, and maybe you'll laugh your ass off. Maybe you'll think it's catchy, or maybe you'll turn it off in the first couple minutes. But he died yesterday. No more music from him. And weird coincidence. A friend of mine. It was so odd. I randomly met this guy, a coworker of Corey's. Actually, he wasn't even a coworker. He was a contractor that worked at the hospital. He did a trivia night. He ran a trivia night. He worked in the copy center at the hospital. One night, Corey's like, when we had first met, she's like, "Hey, a friend of mine at the hospital, a guy I know, he runs a trivia night at bars. We should go and hang out and drink." And I was excited to go and play trivia and hang out and drink. So I met the guy and started interacting with him. It was like super smart, Mensa member, did trivia, just a very eclectic and worldly guy that really clicked with me. We could talk for hours about anything and everything because we knew a little bit about a lot and not a lot about a little. And so I really clicked with him and we became pretty good friends. When I would go visit Corey at the hospital, I would go see Mike. Turns out, a few years later, probably 5 or 6 years, 7 years after we had met, I'm sitting there on Facebook one day scrolling and Mike posts pictures and he says, "Yeah, my mom and I, Mike's probably, I got to say he is 10, 15 years older than me. He says, "My mom and I went to a concert last night and saw one of my favorite musical acts. And no shit, they had gone to see Kinky Friedman in St. Paul, Minnesota, him and his mom, in a private little showing, not private to him, but a very small crowd." And I was like, "Dude, we've talked about everything under the sun for the last 7 years, 8 years. And you never told me, and I never told you that we are both Kinky Friedman fans." He's like, "You know who that is?" I was like, "You're damn right I do, for the last 30 years or so." So, yeah, maybe you'll like it too. Pip, thanks for the comment over on Noster. He says it's Friday or another day that ends in Y. Jim, thanks for the big old zap. I appreciate that. And good morning to you over there on Noster. So that was one of those childhood memories lost. Childhood memories lost. It is what it is. What else is on the list here? So I started down the TikTok road yesterday. We had Corey and I went out to dinner last night, spent some time out of the camper, got her out of the camper, spent some time alone, and had a little date night, and it was very fantastic. So I didn't do a whole lot of show prep. On TikTok, I was going to go down the TikTok conspiracy rabbit hole and this and that, but I did find one very interesting one before we took off and went out and had dinner. And I didn't take the time, and this might bite me in the ass. And you guys might want to help me. Anybody got the Google bot or the computer up in front of them that we can fact check this guy's TikTok? Pickle P said, "Did everyone see Hawk to a Girl?" See her? I mean, I think everybody's probably seen the video. Did they find her again or something? Like, it is what it is. Kind of over that one. Like, she was just drunk outside a bar. Like, I've said worse than that on this show, so I didn't cancel Pride Month yet. So if somebody's got if people got the Google bot up, I saw this and I've seen it before, and I've seen these comparisons before, but I saw this pretty in-depth comparison of Abraham Lincoln and John F. Kennedy. And they went through, and he's like, and this, and this, and this, and this. And I'm like, huh, that is a pretty big coincidence. And then this morning, I'm sitting here looking at the list and going, you know what? I have no idea if any of this shit is true. I don't have to assume. I want to feel like if they put that much time into it and wrote it up and made the video that it's at least factual, but we'll see. Let's see how this goes. So they let's see how many I got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, like 10 to a dozen little facts here. So some of them are pretty easy to figure out. Some might throw Google for a loop, but Abraham Lincoln, John F. Kennedy, 2 presidents of the United States. 2 famous presidents for obvious reasons. The first fact that they said that was a coincidence and highly coincidental between the two was that Abraham Lincoln was elected to Congress for the first time in 1846, and John F. Kennedy was elected to Congress for the first time in 1946. Mike says a lot of it's true. I have a coin set with a Lincoln penny and a Kennedy half that lists a ton of facts. Okay, so they were first elected to Congress 100 years apart, 1846 and 1946. Lincoln was elected president in 1860. 1860, and JFK was elected in 1960, 100 years apart. They were both focused on civil rights. Well, I know Kennedy was, and I'm pretty sure Lincoln was the Emancipation Proclamation guy. That had stuff to do with civil rights. This was one I didn't know. It said that they both of their wives lost children while in the White House. I was trying to wrap my head around the Kennedy presidency, and did his wife lose a child in the White House? I don't know, but this is what the TikTok said. This is what the TikTok said. That's all I got to go with right now, guys. I don't have the bandwidth to be searching this stuff. If you guys fact check one and find them false, let me know in the comments. It says that Pickle Pete said it's true. Both men were shot in the head. we kind of know that. Oh, that's not funny, but like both of them were shot in the head. I got the video of the one. I've seen it 100 times. I don't think they had video when Lincoln was shot, but from how the story goes, the dude walked up behind him and plugged him. So I think that one's true. Here's one. Lincoln's secretary while president, her name was Kennedy, and Kennedy's secretary while he was president, her name was Lincoln. I have to assume those were last names. Maybe. Oh, Mike says successors. We're getting there, man. We're getting there. So the secretaries had the others' names. Both were shot by Southerners. John Wilkes Booth and Lee Harvey Oswald were both Southerners, and they were both succeeded by Southerners, and they were both succeeded by Southerners. Yeah, they were both followed by Southerners named Johnson, Andrew, and Lyndon. Let's see. So a little weirder thing about the link. A little Pip, hold on to that thought for a second. Lincoln's so Andrew Johnson, who succeeded Lincoln, was born in 1808. Andrew Johnson, who succeeded Lincoln, was in 1808, and LBJ, who succeeded Kennedy, was born in 1908. John Wilkes Booth, who shot Lincoln, was born in 1839, and Lee Harvey Oswald, who shot Kennedy, was born in 1939, both of whom were known by all three of their names, and both of whom have 15 letters in those three names combined. Interesting. Lincoln was shot at Fort Deater, and Kennedy was shot in a Lincoln, which was made by Ford. Lincoln was shot in a theater, and Booth ran and hid in a warehouse. Kennedy was shot from a warehouse, supposedly, and then Lee Harvey Oswald ran and hid in a theater. Mike's Homestead said where they were shot from and hid. And my favorite one, a week before Lincoln was shot, he was doing he did a speech he was in Monroe, Maryland, and a week before Kennedy shot, he was in Maryland, Monroe, or with Marilyn Monroe. Yeah. So I have a feeling all of those are right. There was one or two more on the list that I skipped because it was it wasn't for the show for sure. But how does first of all, my questions on this. Who took the time to determine this shit? Like when these good morning, Jim, how we doing? When these coincidences, when people find these correlations, when these things are exposed, like who is sitting around finding this shit? I mean, now in the age of AI, you could set the AI out on a mission to do it. Hey, Go find me 2 presidents in the United States history with the most in common. Blah 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 blah. Pickle P says now you can just ask AI for correlation on anything. Correct, but this stuff was this. I've seen this floating around before we were using AI. And similar and other coincidences. I mean, like you see conspiracy theories and here's the facts and all that shit. Like, who's looking this up? Obviously, the internet. Mike Homestead said the CIA planned it that way, so it was easy for the to drop the breadcrumbs to someone so they could bring it to light. Right. Yeah, Jim says, sorry I was late. I was working on coincidences of the 20th century. What are we talking about? We're talking about Kinky Friedman and the Texas Jew Boys and how it was John F. Kennedy's favorite band and then Lincoln too. What is that famous quote from Abraham Lincoln? You can't believe everything on the internet. Not good. But that, yeah, it just makes me wonder yeah, I can't even get it out. Like, how as a species do we waste so much time? I look back at my focuses. Pickle P says Kennedy got whacked for throwing elbows at a mosh pit. I read a really interesting book about the Kennedy assassination when I was in high school called it was about the time I was reading Kinky Friedman mystery novels. It was called the Kennedy Conspiracy, and it was about the mob ties and all the mob ties to Lee Harvey Oswald and the Kennedys and both Kennedys, and really laid out a plausible involvement with a plausible scenario where it was a concerted effort between some government factions and some so-called mafia types, and how it went down. It was a long time ago. Jim says, as I watch a homeless guy on the internet, I contemplate that often. You got it. But we get focused on some weird shit as humans. And when you like, I'm all for relaxing. Like, we can't drive ourselves 100 miles an hour. Pickle P says you only know Kennedy's name because Papa Joe was an epic smuggler, all dark side cash flow to finance the run. Yeah, I mean, it's just, yeah. When you start pulling threads in different people that we've been held on high, Pickle P says smuggling booze across the Canadian border. Yeah, I think it goes deeper than that. We as an educated public, we've been fed a lot of shit. For sure. In school, in books, in common folklore, in untruth. Jim says they leave that part out of the history education. We the more you learn, the more you realize how much you've been lied to, how much has been omitted to change the focus of the discussion. Yeah. There's lots of questions that could be asked if there was more shared in school. And school wasn't, these are the facts we need you to remember. These are the facts we want you to spit back out on the test. We don't want you to think critically about things. We don't want you to explore the whys and the hows and all of that. These are the hard and fast facts that we know to be true. These are true. There's no question about it. Jim says everything we've been taught has been lies told as myths for the control factor. Right. And as you start, K-Bonk says, true, the Trump-Biden debate was a shit show. That was another fucking thing where I felt so excited. Guys, I think I have completed another stage in my political checkout. In my I don't fucking give two flying fucks about what's going on in the political political climate in the United States. I didn't know there was a debate until like 4 o'clock yesterday, 3 o'clock yesterday. And then I saw it in passing and could not fucking care less. I literally heard that the debate and I just kept going. Don't care. Whatever they said last night doesn't fucking matter. I saw it. I saw a quote on Nostr this morning that said, Donald Trump is the chicken soup for the boomer soul. And I almost spit some of my coffee out. I thought it was fucking hilarious. Pickle P says it was a clown fest. Trump was punching in the face and the reporters weren't stopping it. Sad showing by Biden. Jim says didn't watch it. Doesn't matter what they say. It's all theater. That's what I figure. And Pip asked the all-important question, did Biden poop his pants in the debate? That's what I wonder. Did the man shit himself when he was trying to concentrate on an answer? Did he use all his brain power that all of a sudden his natural functions of his rectum to hold in his poo let loose and he shit himself and then had to think about that? Pickle Pete says, total theater. I tuned in to see what drugs he was on. All of them. Did they? I heard in the article or in the headline that that I heard there was a debate. was literally saying that they were going to test Biden for PEDs before and after the debate. Was that true? Because that was just in passing. That's how much I gave a fuck about it. I just kept going. I just kept scrolling. But they said they were going to drug test him before and after the debate. Is that right? Pickle P says he rambled almost every answer, total non-coherence. So this is like, if you are looking at the political landscape in the United States right now, if you are looking at this and you see Donald Trump, here we got Donald Trump, Orange Man, prior president, lost, convicted, trials, whether they're real or not or whatever. You got him. He's the best on the right. And you got Joe Biden, who can't string a coherent sentence together, who shits himself in public, who's shaking hands with mystery people, who they shuffle him around. How many people do we have in the United States that could qualify to be president? What is it? You got to be a natural born citizen. You got to be 35 years old. There isn't a ton of qualification. You're telling me, what's up, Haas? Thanks for hanging out over in the vertical stream. Appreciate the comment over there. There aren't very many qualifications to run for president. And how many people in the United States meet these qualifications? And you're telling me these two fuckers are the two most qualified? Oh, we'll throw in the other fucking dipshit too, that they won't let play in the debates. Is that Robert Kennedy? Another Kennedy? These guys are the 2 or 3 most qualified people in this country to run the government of the quote unquote most powerful country in the world. If you can tell me that and believe it, and honestly believe that these two guys are the best of the best brilliant minds to lead the most powerful country in the world forward for 4 years. If you can honestly tell me that, you're lying. Like, there is no way. There's no way. I don't give a fuck about your political leanings. I don't give a shit about your social leanings. I don't give a shit about any of it. You can't honestly tell me that these two guys are the best choices we have. Pip says, I saw Spike Cohen suggest we let these two old fucks retire and play golf and they find real leaders. Yeah. Mike's Homestead said, who's telling you that we aren't promised or even told that they are the best of the best? Why? That's my question. Why are we parading them around? Why are we choosing? What difference does it make then? What's the point? What's the point? It's just it's all fake. So the fact that so many people get wound up in it, so many people lose relationships over it, so many people hate their neighbors or hate the person down the street or the guy in front of them with the wrong bumper sticker. K-Bong says the Trump VP has hope, maybe. Who is it? I don't even know. Doesn't even matter. Doesn't matter. It literally doesn't matter. You think Joe Biden's handling the interactions between the U.S. and Russia right now? You could put Ronald McDonald versus fucking Grimace for president, and it wouldn't make any difference. Pickle P says might just be enough hate now to end the system and reboot. Yeah, no. What was the viewership of the debate last night? What's going to be the election rolls? How many people are going to go and vote? Pickle Pete is must be hitting the dubs already this morning pretty hard, because he said such a clown show, we flush it and figure out a decentralized solution. Not in our lifetime, my man. It is so ingrained. It is so in the hooks. There is no getting away from it. It's a big waste of time and a big division. Pickle P says he's having dabs and coffee. Well, of course, that's why you're talking like that. He says there is hope. You know what there is? There is hope. Figure out to just fucking don't pay attention, because it doesn't matter. Work on you. Work on shit and worry about shit and spend fucking energy on shit that makes you better. It makes you better. It helps you. You're worried about the state of the economy. Figure out what to do if it fucking goes sideways. Build community around you of like-minded people, of unlike-minded people, of people that are willing to enrich your lives, make you better, teach you things, that you can teach them things. You can work together. You can grow your lives together that directly and every day affects you. Or go vote for Trump, because he's going to make America great again. Or go vote for Biden because he made it 3 days without shitting himself or saying something stupid. That'll fix it. Oh, go vote for your senators and House guys, because they're going to put Trump in jail, or they're going to impeach Biden, or they're going to put Hunter on trial because we found his laptop and he likes diddling kids and snorting coke with hookers. Do you know what? When you were worried about all that shit, and I was part of it, like Corey's sitting back there going, yeah, I know that guy. When you were doing that shit, I was building my camper and learning how to live boondocking with no power and having to source water and all of that. I was learning how to raise rabbits and chickens and how to grow a garden, how to work on compost, how to raise quail, how to run a hatchery. Which one was more important? Which one was more energy spent better? Think about it. When you turn on the fucking news in the night and you watch the news, have a little notepad next to you. And when you see a story, put a little check mark when the story affects you today or tomorrow. And not oh, World War III is coming, Russia's going to bomb us, and you're going to worry about that and spend all sorts of energy worrying about it. You know, if it fucking happens, it happens. What are you going to do about it? Be prepared to deal with the fallout. But put a check mark on your notepad every time that it affects your life today, tomorrow, or the next day. You're going to have an empty fucking notepad by the end of the day. Mike Holmstead said, when I used to listen to political talk radio, I stayed mad. Fortunately, I saw it was a problem and quit listening when Obama was elected. That was about the time I dipped, I think. I think it was when Obama got elected the second time, and he had literally said everything he wanted to do. He literally, in his first campaign, said, this is what I want to do. This is who I am. This is what I'm going to push for. And he was probably one of the most successful presidents ever because he did exactly what he said. And everybody bitched about it, even people that voted for him, because they had to vote on identity politics. I had to vote for the first black president. How about you vote for the fucking person that run the country the best? I don't give a fuck if they're black, white, red, green, or yellow. But he told you exactly what he was going to do, and you didn't listen. And so at that point, I was like, this is all bullshit. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. And gone. Never look back. Never look back. I don't even think I voted in I think I voted in the first Obama election, and that was the last time I voted. How long ago was that? I don't even know. Long time. Took a lot to stop caring and to open my eyes and say it's a lot of wasted energy, but Jim says my last vote was for Johnson Weld, and that vote mattered as much as any vote I ever placed. I thought Jim was saying that his last vote was for LBJ or maybe Andrew Johnson. He's talking about Gary Johnson or Arapaho. K-Bong says he's never voted. I applaud you, sir. You've not wasted 1 minute in pointless exercise in that, at least in that aspect. Oh, anyway, guys, we're going to wrap it up here. Head into the weekend. I got a work day over at Sean Mills this weekend. I'm going to go hang out and do a little networking, do a little work, and see what we can learn. Because guess what? He's putting in a vermicomposting toilet, and I'm going to go learn how it's built and how it works. And guess what? That might help me this week. That might help me this month. I ain't going to watch the fucking replay of the debate. I'll tell you that. So anyway, I got a bunch to do today. Got a bunch to do this weekend, and we'll go over it. Hunter says Verma, yes, worm toilet, yes, a worm composting toilet. It's a very interesting design. There's several ways you can set it up. I'm curious which way he's doing it, and yeah, I'll try to take some video. I'm sure Sean will put video out too. Anyway, big busy weekend as always. Lots of stuff to do to move forward. And we'll circle back and talk all about it on Monday. I appreciate everybody listening. If you enjoyed the show, it's always free to hit that like, share, and subscribe. To return value for value, please consider joining one of the YouTube membership tiers or listening on any value for value platform like Podverse or Fountain.fm. We're going to be making a big push to get some viewers over on Nostr going through the month of July, see how that goes. That's coming up on Monday. On Monday will be July, guys. Half the year is fucking over. Half the year is gone this weekend. Just remember. Pickle P says worms up the ass scare me. Yeah, they're in a different compartment. Don't worry about it. Other than that, you can visit thelotsproject.com or the last few days at comfreyroots.com, comfreyroots.com, where you can get your Comfrey Roots and the last few days of our Share the Love sale. Discount code Share the Love gets you 2 for 1 shipped out from the site. That's direct from us. That's no Etsy fees, no another of that. None of that stuff. That is direct. And we'll be building that up as we go along too. So comfreyroots.com, share that with your friends, and the discount code Share the Love. Have an awesome weekend, everybody. Wrap up the first half of the year the way it should. Make it a great one. Get some shit done. Learn something. Be productive, or do nothing at all. Hey, Digger, happy first weekend. The rest of your days will all be Saturdays. I remember when my dad retired and he told me that. I thought about it. He says, every day's a Saturday now. I didn't have to work today and I don't got to work tomorrow. Don't worry about getting up in the morning. You can do whatever you want. You want to get up early, you want to get up late. You want to stay up late, you want to go to bed early. It doesn't matter. Every day for the rest of your life is Saturday. Enjoy it, man. I appreciate you sticking it out. Seems like a familiar tune. They beat up your body and set you out to pasture. Glad you're free now. Hey, guys, have a great weekend, and we'll talk to you on Monday.
Shining in with the at the end of this longest night. I can see the light.